Today I'm unboxing and giving my first impressions of the 9Barista, plus a quick side-by-side comparison with the Pado 9Bar on the Moorish Gourmet. I've had the Pado for a few weeks now, and I've got it pretty well dialed in. I've been using the Icamo K63 with the flat burrs installed, set to grind size 5. I've been pulling consistently tasty shots from the Pado with that setup. So now I'm curious, can the 9Barista match that performance, or maybe even beat it? I bought the Pado 9Bar before the 9Barista. Not because I thought it would outperform it, but because I wasn't sure I'd even like stovetop espresso. I didn't want to spend $500 on something that might just sit in a drawer or look pretty on a shelf. But $200 on Taobao? A little less sticker shock. Still money, but less so. It took a full month to arrive, but I wasn't in a rush. This wasn't a need, it was just an itch I wanted to scratch. When it finally showed up, I paired it with my Bialetti induction plate and pulled a shot. What happened was, I tried the Pado 9Bar, and it pulled a shot so good, it took me straight back to a Roman holiday, 2006. And in that moment, I wondered, should I have just bought the real thing from the start? And that shot, it was sweet, thick, syrupy. Honestly, it was the best shot I've had since Rome. Before Rome, I wasn't an espresso person. I drank drip, black, from a Mr. Coffee. The only time I touched espresso was in red eyes from Starbucks or Pete's just to power through road trips. It was bitter, burnt, something to survive, not something to enjoy. Then I went to Rome to a tiny hotel with a lever machine. My wife, then girlfriend, convinced me to try a shot with breakfast. I resisted, then I relented. God bless her. That one shot changed everything. This is what espresso is supposed to taste like. Sweet, syrupy goodness with hints of chocolate. That Pado shot brought that memory back. It was my Anton Ego flashback. And that's when I knew I had to give credit where credit was due. So I bought the 9Barista. The 9Barista unboxing? Clean, elegant. That welcome to the club, a cute touch. Right out of the box, the 9Barista feels hefty, substantial. The Pado 9Bar has some weight too, but the 9Barista is clearly heavier. Let's weigh both and see just how much of a difference there really is. When it comes to weight, there's a big difference. The 9Barista weighs 1.7 kilograms. The Pado 9Bar? 1.5. That extra weight comes from the 9Barista's brass boiler and integrated heat exchange coil. The Pado doesn't have a coil, and it's stainless steel, which keeps it lighter. But the base boilers themselves? Nearly identical in shape and size, if not by weight. Both heat exchange units can actually screw into either boiler. The threads match. It's a strange detail, but also a telling one. Because it doesn't just suggest similar design, it suggests interchangeable parts, not just inspired by, but mechanically compatible. And when two brewers share components at this level, that says something. Not proof of anything, but it raises questions. One thing I do prefer on the Pado, the vacuum release valve. It's not that the 9Baristas is bad, it works just fine, but the Pado's round pull knob is easier to grip. It feels more confident in the hand than the little tab on the 9Barista. It's probably personal preference, but it makes a difference to me when I'm working with hot metal and built-up pressure. Inside the heatsink fins, the Pado has some visible discoloration, maybe from heat, perhaps a manufacturing flaw. The 9Barista, no discoloration, clean and pristine. Threading and machining, both are solid. If there's a difference in feel, it's subtle. Nothing on the Pado felt rough or poorly made. But the threads on the Pado did feel a little bit sharper. The 9Baristas felt sharp too. But with the Pado, I felt like I'd have an easier time cutting myself if I wasn't paying attention. I'm sure that'll wear down over time. And the baskets? The Pado uses a 58mm basket. The 9Barista uses 53mm. That matters, because 58mm fits standard tampers and accessories. That gives the Pado a bit more flexibility if you're already deep into espresso gear. And while we're talking about hardware details, There's also the chimney. The Pado's chimney looks narrower than the 9Baristas in terms of opening diameter, but the internal clearance looks about the same. I haven't noticed any functional difference, but visually, it's a small design contrast worth pointing out. To keep it fair, I use the same workflow for both. Icamo K63 with flat burrs with a grind size of 5, dosed, tamped, and locked in. The Pado was already dialed in, so I started there. Duck's top set to boil, Bialetti induction plate in place. Beautiful flow. That shot was my control. Sweet, balanced, syrupy. Then I moved to the 9Barista. Same induction hob, same grind, same heat setting, and no flow. Tried 5.5, nothing. 6, nothing. 7, 8, still nothing. So I switched to my butane stove and added a bit more water to compensate for evaporation. But I added too much. Almost as soon as it hit the flame, it sputtered, boiled over, and the shot came out bitter and burnt, over-extracted. What I learned is this: the 9Barista demands more practice. Maybe it's more sensitive to heat and technique. I'll have to try again to see if I can dial it in on the duck's top. Maybe, maybe not. The Pado, more forgiving in induction, maybe because it's lighter, maybe because it's steel. It worked on the first try and gave me one of the best shots I've ever had. That doesn't make one better than the other. It just means they behave differently. One gave me results fast. The other gave me nothing, followed by sputtering bitterness. I'm sure I've got a breakthrough heading my way. I just got to keep trying. One more thing to consider: the 9Barista is patented. That includes the twin boiler design and heat exchanger. The Pado is clearly modeled after it, and if they're using that same design without permission, it could be infringing. Patents are regional and enforcement takes time, but if you care about innovation, this matters. Someone invented this. Someone took it from concept to working product. And for me, that's worth something. Would I still buy the Pado? Yeah, absolutely. For 200 bucks with a 58 millimeter basket and the ability to pull that Rome level shot, it's a no-brainer. But I'm glad I bought the 9Barista too. That moment I had with the Pado, it wouldn't have happened without the original design. Someone had to create that, and they deserve support. So, yeah, I'm keeping both. And look, you're going to do with your money what you're going to do. I'm not preaching. I shop on Taobao. I buy knockoffs sometimes. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's budget. I get it. But for me, when something surprises me that much, when it changes my perspective like that, I want to support the people who brought it into the world. So that's what I did. If you've ever bought a knockoff or a cheaper alternative, tell me, did it deliver? Or did you end up going back for the original? Drop your stories in the comments. Enjoy this comparison? Like and subscribe for more coffee gear deep dives. Let's call it a day while the mess is still manageable. Thanks for watching.